Hello everyone, my name is Eostrix. Welcome back if you've been here, and if you haven't, now you have. Welcome as well. Today I'm introducing my commander deck, Lure and Endure. This deck was probably the hardest conceptually for me to make as I couldn't find an obvious route to take it. So we have a really weird deck, helmed by Thalia and the Gitrog monster. Yes, that is one card. Catgum is a 4/4 human frog horror for 1 white, black, green that states the following. First strike, Deathtouch. You may play an additional land on each of your turns. Creatures and non-basic lands your opponents control enter the battlefield tapped. Whenever Catgum attacks, sacrifice a land or creature and draw a card. What are we doing with it? See that first strike Deathtouch? Well, add that with the Lure effect and boom. That's the deck idea. Making all creatures able to block 1 creature with first strike Deathtouch, and then wiping them all out via first strike because it only takes 1 damage to kill a creature with Deathtouch. So how do we win? I don't know either. So I have our trusty Phyrexian friends to help us via poison. And if people didn't hate us before this, they will after this. So, what cards are in this bastard of a deck? Let's start with the category, Perma-Lore. What does lore mean? Let's start with the card itself. Lore is a green enchantment for 1 and 2 green that states enchant creature. All creatures able to block enchanted creature do so. This makes creatures that would usually stay back, such as Soul Warden, come to the front and have to block, so we can order the damage accordingly. What cards replicate this effect? Canopy Stalker has single lore, which means that every time that it attacks, it makes 1 creature block. Golden Hide Ox has this effect when an enchantment enters the battlefield. Grappling Hook has this on an attack trigger. Indrik Umbra lures with buff and totem armor. Predatory Impetus has single lore with a buff. Insider Piper has an ability to grant a single lore to any creature that we choose. Next up is Once Lore. How bad can it possibly be?
How bad can I possibly be?
I didn't make it for the pun, but god was it there. Deadly Allure has single lore and Deathtouch. Declare Dominance is a lore with a boost. King Herald's Revenge is single lore with a boost and trample. Chassero's Death Whisper is a single lore with card draw attached to it, and it was almost the commander of this deck. And then I saw Gitrog monster. So what are some creatures that would already be good targets for lore or grant them? These are found in keywords. Archetype of Courage grants first strike to creatures we control, removes from everyone else. Archetype of Finality grants Deathtouch to creatures we control and removes it from everything else. Duelist of Deep Faith is a toxic and first strike lure target. Engulfing Slagworm is a great lure target, honestly it's very stupid with it. Glissa Sunslayer is a lure target or utility, you choose. Glissa is a traitor, lure target and artifact recursion secondarily. Grasping Giant is a dumb lure target and I love it. Guardian of the Gateless is a buff target and an amazing blocker. Jawbone Duelist is a toxic double strike big ouch. Lightfoot Rogue, roll for lore target. Might Overseer grants first strike to tokens and makes mites. Odric Lunarch Marshal grants keywords we already have to everything on our board. Skeletor Swarming just makes fodder, honestly, I don't really know, I just wanted it in there. Triumphant Adventurer is a lure target, and Vicious Battle Rager is an amazing lure target, honestly rather stupid and can kill someone very easily. Now we don't want these creatures to die as they're our game plan for winning, so we have counters. Einok Bondkin grants first strike to those with +1/+1s. Crystalline Giant gives itself counters to then possibly distribute them. Evolution Sage proliferates on a land drop. Hydra's Growths is a stupid enchantment that doubles +1/+1s each turn. Catherall Aspect Warper, keyword counters from cards and graveyards. Lizelle Vlankith's Champion is 1 more counter for each counter that has been put on a permanent. Roaring Earth counters from land drops. Tyam Luminous Enigma grants vigilance counters and recurs through counters. Winding Constrictor, 1 more counter for each counter. And Yannick's Scavenging Sentinel, save 1 creature and distribute the power and counters. And then when Yannick dies, it inevitably returns, but that's later on. Now while this one is small, as cards are better off in other categories, we have purely death benefits. Assault Intercessor damages opponents for 2, each creature that they have die. Death Tyrant makes a 2/2 zombie for each death in combat. Grave Betrayal steals creatures after they die from opponents. And Poison Tip Archer, Assault Intercessor, but 1 damage in any creature dying. The stuff that drives the game is kinda important, so here we have Ramp. Empowered Auto Generator adds mana equal to its counters. Garametra, God of Harvest, we have a lot of creatures, and we may as well swipe some lands while we're at it. Mindstone draws a card when in trouble. Strixhaven Stadium, possible win condition for a stalled board. And Wayfarer's Bauble, which is just classic Ramp. Similarly, we have card draw. Shovel, Bane of Monsters, is a fun form of card draw. Death Reap Ritual, possible 4 cards per rotation. Grimhar Specs draws a card when Tagum attacks. Moldervine Reclamation, draw a card if something died for us. Morbid Opportunist, Death Reap but a creature. Nikara, Lair Scavenger, if it had counters, draw a card when we have a creature die. And Skull Clamp, good for our fodder, draw 2 per equip. We need a way to end the game. Clearing boards won't do that. While not a popular angle, we do have Poison. Finn the Fangbearer is a WinCon 101. Ixhel, Sign of Atraxa, steals cards if we poison people. Noxious Assault, this Whittler is an immediate death in some cases. Skrull's Hive is a Bitter Blossom for mites. Skrull Defector Mite, protect one creature from a color and grant poison to it. I should say toxic, but it's poison. And Venerated Rot Priest. It seems OP, so I threw it in here. Though our deck is already doing a lot of heavy work, we have a bit of non-creature removal. Assassin's Trophy removes a permanent, but we make it so they don't hit us as much by giving them a land. Cross and Grip, no counter or ability removal. Koronos, Hound of Athreos, it removes people from accessing their graveyard. Yes, I know this is a weird place to put it, but here it is. And lastly, Mage Hunter's Onslaught. Destroy a creature or planeswalker, and then make them pay afterwards with a lore. We're in black, and inevitably, we will lose a creature that we thought we needed. So we have some small recursion effects. Fury Ultimatum returns all permanent cards from our graveyard. Necrogen Communion protects one creature and gives it Toxic 2. And Victimize. It sacks 2 creatures and returns 1. And lastly, the most skipped over part of any deck tech, the lands. Canopy Vista, Command Tower, Deathcap Glade, Aijanko, Seat of the Empire, Grasslands, Nesting Grounds, Overgrown Farmland, Overgrown Tomb, Radiant Grove, Sandstep Citadel, Sunlit Marsh, Takanuma Abandoned Mire, Thriving Grove, Thriving Heath, Thriving Moor, 7 forests, 6 plains, and 6 swamps. Alright, now that's over. You guys should subscribe down below if you actually managed to make it this far. I have some deck techs in a playlist down there too, and if you like anything, comment below. I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.